This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number one or number two in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per talk.
5 and 6 million.
He is hell-bent on global domination.
We just broke our 100,000 units sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka.
Okay, Top Tribe, this week's winner of the $100 that I give away every Monday is Kim Dust. She's in the entertainment industry and is currently working a full-time day job and doing her side hustle on the side. Kim, congrats. For you, here's a chance to win $100 every Monday. Simply subscribe to the podcast on iTunes now and then text the word Nathan to 33444 to officially enter. Again, text the word Nathan to 33444 after you've subscribed. Guys, if you want an easy tool to use to book your meetings back to back, to batch your calls, to make sure people actually show up when they schedule, you want to use Acuity Scheduling. It's what I use for all my podcast interviews at nathanlatka.com/schedule. I'll tell you more about how I use it later on in the episode. Nathan Latka here. This is episode 533. Coming up tomorrow morning, you'll learn from Darian Shirazi. He's the CEO of Radius. He's 29 years old. They just raised $100 million, and they're helping expand B2B sales pipelines. Top Tribe, good morning. Nathan Latka here, and our guest today is Tim Saumet. He is the CTO at a company called Tilkey, which is a SaaS solution software for business proposals, follow-up, and sales process tracking. It's a super hot space. Before that, he was involved with OXFOZ Technologies as the CEO. He was also manager of general services at another company and also project manager at Travel Do. All right, Tim, Kate, are you guys ready to take us to the top?
Yes.
All right, very good. And Kate, you are, just real quick, tell us your role at Tilkey, and then we'll jump in.
I'm a business developer. I'm actually currently developing the European market along with my colleagues, focusing mainly on the UK because I am English, as you can probably tell.
Very good. So, Tim, give us an overview of kind of what Tilkey does specifically, and then how you guys generate revenue. What's your business model?
Okay. So it's the pitch is very simple. As a salesman, and I used to be a salesman, not a very good one. I'm an engineer, so it was a real challenge for me to actually sell. And when I used to send my business proposal, basically it was a PDF file enclosed in a mail. When I pushed the send button of my mail, the contact with my prospect was completely lost. So I used to do a couple of random follow-ups, but it was never the good time for my prospect, and nobody called me back. So that's why we created with Sylvain, my co-founder, that's why we created Tilkey. And Tilkey is a very simple software, SaaS, that you can use to analyze the reading behavior of your prospect. And using Tilkey, you are able to follow up on the right prospect at the right time with the right message.
And is this
maximize your follow-ups?
Tim, is this specifically for documents, kind of PDFs?
It's any kind of documents, PDF, Word, PowerPoint, video, Prezi. But at one stage, you need to send, if it's indicate that you need to send a PDF in a mail.
Great. Okay, so give us some more history on the business. What year did you launch it in?
Sorry,
what year did you launch the business in?
We began Tilkey 3.5 years ago. At the very beginning, it was a side project with Sylvain. We both had our own companies. He was making pedagogic tools, and I was building websites, basically. And Sylvain figured out that it would be a great idea to actually follow ups on business proposals. I mean, using these kind of tools, and I jumped in the adventure, and we created Tilkey then. And after winning a couple of challenges, French and international, we had some business angels and funds that came to us, and we.
So Tim, real quick, let me just back up before we get too far down the story. So you launched it kind of mid 2012, which was about, you said, 3.5 years ago. Do you remember what your first year revenue was? It's usually an embarrassing number.
Oh yeah, almost nothing. I would say 20,000.
Okay, 20,000. And then take us forward real quick, but then we'll go kind of back to the story. So give us a sense of size now. How many customers are you serving?
Okay, we serve around 800 customers, from startups to enterprise size companies like Orange, Adeco, and it's really Fortune 500 European companies.
Okay.
And yeah.
And I see your pricing plans kind of go from solo at 19 per month up to about 1,500. That's a big range. On average, if you just take a weighted average across your entire customer base, what's the average customer paying you per month?
It's quite difficult because for, I would say, small customers that have less than 10 users, the average is 500 per year. But we have very big customers which have more than 200, 500 seats, and that can be 50,000 and more. I have customers with 205,000.
Okay. So if we, maybe the better question is why don't you just kind of scale us up? So you launched in mid 2012. What was your monthly recurring revenue at the end of 2015 in December?
At the end of last year, it was, let me think.
Or range.
MRR, 20 MRR, and we are around 100 now.
Oh, great. So you're doing, so again, 20,000. And is that USD, Tim?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for doing the conversion in your head. I know that's probably what you were doing there, and I appreciate it. So 20,000 United States dollars at the end of December, kind of 2015, which would have been about a $240,000 ARR rate. They're now, almost a year later, up to, they're growing really fast. So almost 5x year over year, now doing about $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And Tim, what would you credit that growth to? Is it seat expansion, enterprise customers? What is it?
Okay, Kate is showing herself.
I just pointed at myself.
Go, Kate. Kate wants a raise. Kate, where's the growth coming from?
Okay, honestly, we had to let's say educate the market in France, especially. So it took us a long time. We made also some pivot product and customers. Mm-hmm. So before that, we used to sell to very small companies, and we pivoted to enterprise size or much bigger company. And also we recruited a lot of very talented what we call tilkers, and they helped us a lot to convert our leads during this year.
So did I get this right, Tim? You kind of pivoted both the product and the user base. The user base was small kind of businesses, and now you're much more enterprise, and you also pivoted the product to serve the enterprise better as well. Is that accurate?
Absolutely.
And have you raised capital as you've done this, or are you bootstrapped?
Yes, we raised capital 2 years ago. We raised $1 million and a half dollars.
And you said that was 2 years ago?
Yes.
So that means right now you're either raising more capital or you're in acquisition talks. Which one is it?
We just breaking even last month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we are thinking about raising more money next year.
Well, you're in the right spot to do it because you don't need it, right?
Exactly.
That's good. What it's as a CEO, when you think about how much money you'd like to raise, you said you're doing about $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue. How do you think about how much you would raise if you did raise?
Mm-hmm. Unless, we won't go for a typical Series A round. We don't want that because we want to keep the control of the company. Mm-hmm. And for that, we will raise much more than 2 million.
Okay, got it. So, and when you say control of the company, you mean more than 50% amongst all the co-founders?
Yes, and co-founders and our employees.
So do you have kind of an option pool? Do all employees have some amount of equity?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, very good. I love that. I talk to CEOs, and they're typically one way or the other. They either don't give employees any options outside of the founders, or they have an option pool and they give some amount of shares, even if it's very little, to every employee, so they're incentivized.
Yeah, honestly, it's between We have some employees actually bought shares.
Oh, great.
5% of the company is now to some of the employees. And we also have some options that we are giving to some of the employees.
Got it. Well, so is it fair to say if you're wanting to make sure you guys keep at least 50% of the company and you wouldn't raise more than $2 million that you'd value? It sounds like you're valuing it somewhere around $3 million post money or pre money. How do you think about, or the real question is, how do you think about valuation?
The typical valuation in Europe would be 5 times our ARR.
Okay.
And we, I think we will be more than 1 million of ARR end of next year. So,
well, you're already at. Didn't you say you're already at $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue?
Yes, but just this last month. So we have to show the progress for the next months, at least beginning of next year.
Okay, so what does your churn look like? What's your gross monthly customer churn like?
Churn or?
Churn.
Yeah, not so much actually. I would say that the churn is, we keep 80 something percent of our customers.
Okay, so maybe 15%, maybe something around there, churn per year. So about maybe a maximum of 2% gross churn per month, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I imagine you probably see much different patterns in your enterprise users versus your small business.
Absolutely. Because for enterprise, we usually have 3 years contracts, for instance. So it's. Yeah.
And and Kate, maybe this is a good question for you. How are you guys kind of finding these enterprise deals? Does it start with one employee and then you guys have a dashboard and you say, ooh, Uber started using us. Let me go through, call that one employee on a demo and get them to add their teammates. Is that how it works?
So yeah, that's one way of doing it. Of course, if we see one thing that's really important to us and a lot of companies is actually keeping track of our customers and keep making sure that they're happy. So if we do see someone that signs up from a company, of course, we actually ring them. I think within 2 minutes is our that's and then we'll of course give them a demo and see if anybody else wants to sign up within their company. Otherwise, it's actually quite clever because we were able to use Tilkey in order to get Tilkey out there and known. Yeah, so if I sent you some information on Tilkey, I'd actually know if you'd read it or not and if you're particularly interested. We actually have an algorithm calculated score within every email alert that you will receive telling you that someone's read your documents. So this actually allows you to kind of predict your sales as well. So this is the kind of way we go about it. LinkedIn is also a clever one that I think everyone likes to use when they're doing prospecting. Yeah.
And product-wise, are you guys more, like I noticed on your pricing page, you have e-signatures listed, but this whole interview so far, you've talked about kind of document tracking. Is e-signatures something new that you guys are doing? Because that's a whole nother space. That's like Right Signature, DocuSign. It's a whole nother competitive market.
Yeah. E-signature is kind of an add-on that we are not doing e-signature on ourselves. That's something we integrate another solution. But
which one?
It's a French startup called USign.
USign, interesting.
You have to understand that the market is very different between the US and Europe. Talking about e-signature. In France or in Europe, generally speaking, e-signature is a paying, we would pay from 1 to 2 euros per signature because it's much more technical and complicated than the requirement
in the US.
You have in the US. So that's why we're using USign.
And do you guys, going back to unit economics, do you guys have a good idea of what the lifetime value of a customer is yet? And if so, what is it?
I think it's too short to have a good idea on this kind of figures because to be honest, we made our last pivot 1 year ago, so it's too early.
And what is let me ask it maybe differently. Typically folks have an LTV to CAC ratio they like to stick to. But if you guys just look at customer acquisition cost, what are you spending to acquire a new customer?
Same thing. I've a lot of difficulties to actually make it a good figure because I can say that we spend I would say 200,000 per year on acquisition. Okay. But for
Tim, sorry to cut you off. Does that include salaries, or is that just paid marketing spend on Google and Facebook?
Mixed.
Okay.
A mix of, yeah.
Okay.
We don't spend money on advertising today because nobody in Europe would actually search in Google proposal management tool today. It's the case in the US, but not in Europe. But for very big accounts, we, for instance, right now we have radio advertising in the French, one of the major French radio, and we are calculating the return on investment almost every day. But it's okay right now, but I don't know if we have a conversion right now.
That's okay. Well, tell me more. I want to get a better sense here. It sounds like you guys are using folks like Kate as kind of an inside sales team. So maybe your fully weighted CAC would obviously include their salaries and maybe flying Kate to big customers, things like that. What's your current team size? And of the total team size, how many are doing sales?
Okay, we are 20 total, and I have there are 15 making sales.
Wow. Okay, so that's a big percentage, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like, what is that, 75% of your team are salespeople?
Yeah.
Okay. And what are the rest, engineers?
Yes, absolutely.
That's great. Are you an engineer?
Yes.
Oh, what tech stack are you guys built on? I'm curious.
Sorry, what?
What tech stack are you guys built on?
The stack is Ruby on Rails for the API, Angular for the front, and we have also a lot of integration for Salesforce, for instance. So it's post.com, Sugar CRM, so it's PHP, etc., etc.
Got it. And then Kate, internally, what tools are you guys using to manage your pipeline? Do you use Sugar?
Currently, we're actually using Pipedrive. One of the big forces of Tilkey today is that it's actually integratable into the majority of tools. So Pipedrive is a big one for us. Other than that, Tilkey is pretty good on its own, actually.
That's really good. And guys, if you want to learn more about Pipedrive, I had Timo on, the CEO, back in episode 483. He talked about how they passed $10 million in annual recurring revenue and past the 30,000 customer mark. That's at nathanlatka.com/the top 483. Now, Kate, you threw in there that you guys are pretty good at pipeline management. Do you guys have a CRM component?
Do we have a what, sorry?
A CRM component?
No, no, we don't.
Okay. What did you mean then when you said that you guys are pretty good at it?
Integrating?
Well, no, I said, do you guys use a CRM? And you said that you use Pipedrive, but then you added on and you said, but we're pretty good at it. What did you mean by that? I
think that what Kate would want to say that we are not a CRM, and we are fully integrated within CRMs like Pipedrive, Sugar.
Oh, I see. Got it. Thanks for clarifying that. Very good. Well, guys, where's the best place for folks to connect with you online if they want to follow you guys as you continue building Tilkey?
You
have Twitter?
Yeah, on Twitter, at Tilkey app, with the double P. Or if not, just on Facebook, you can type in Tilkey, or you can go into tilkey.com. Or if you ever have any questions, you can always email us, kate@tilkey.com.
All right, guys, I talked about this earlier, but I schedule like so many meetings that would blow your mind. I mean, all my podcast interviews, right? Hundreds of entrepreneurs I talk to monthly, I schedule. And you know what? I do it so efficiently. I get them all to agree to my calendar. So all the calls are back to back to back. That means I'm not switching in between tasks all day long. I get them to batch so that I can be very efficient. It's so critical. And I use a tool called Acuity Scheduling to do this at nathanlatka.com/schedule. It eliminates the back and forth between me and people I'm trying to meet with. It makes it very simple. And most importantly, they help me keep my no-show rate very low because they send out reminders. Helps you look very professional. So go to nathanlatka.com/schedule to sign up. And you get a great deal. You know, you guys know this. I hit people hard. I make great deals. And Gavin, the CEO, has given us a great deal. If you sign up like normal people, okay, on their website, you only get a 14-day free trial. If you use my link, nathanlatka.com/ nathanlatka.com/schedule. You get 45 days free. Okay? It's the best. It's free. Go to nathanlatka.com/schedule right now to sign up, and I'll see you there. All right, Top Tribe, we will link that in the show notes at nathanlatka.com/the top 533. Again, /the top 533. All right, Kate, Tim, we're going to wrap up with our famous five. These are really quick one-word answers. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right, number one, what's your favorite business book?
One of my associates, actually. So it's not very known.
It's by Sylvain Tillon, and it's called...
The last one is the 100 tips you want to know if you want to fail in your business.
What's the book title, though? Do you know?
It's actually in French.
Oh, okay. Who's the author?
Sylvain Tillon. Tillon is spelled Tillon.
Okay, awesome. I'll look that book up, link to it in the show notes. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Yes, one of Bruno Bonnell, which is a very famous French entrepreneur, and Elon Musk.
What's he the CEO of? Not Elon Musk, the other one.
Bruno is CEO of lots of companies, but specializes in robotics.
Got it. Very good. Number three, is there a favorite online tool you have, like Acuity Scheduling?
Google. Google.
Could it be a little more specific, Tim?
Okay. Not tech.
No.
Zapier.
Is there anything? Okay, Zapier. Very good. Number four, yes or no? Do you get 8 hours of sleep every night?
Yes.
And Tim, do you?
Tim, no.
I didn't.
Do you get 8 hours of sleep every night?
Oh, no. No.
And Tim, what's your situation? Are you married, single? Do you have kids?
I'm separated, and I have a kid who is 6.
Very good. And how old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay, so last... What did you say, Kate?
I said he's getting old.
So, Tim, last question. Take us back 17 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Sorry, I didn't catch it.
What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Okay, what I learned this past years is focus on personal development, like meditation. And I think at that time, when I was 20, I wouldn't, if I would have known how to meditate, it would have been a great thing for me.
Well, Top Tribe, there you have it from Tim. He would have loved to have focused on personal development earlier on things like meditation. They're serving over 800 customers at Tilke, helping with document management and tracking. They've raised $1.5 million. They're doing about $100,000 right now in monthly recurring revenue. That's December 2016, with less than 2% gross monthly customer churn. It's too early to tell CAC and LTV in terms of months and dollars, but they are really helping a lot of enterprise customers with document management with their team of 20, potentially raising early next year. Tim, Kate, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan.
If you enjoyed Kate today, go back and listen to Steve from yesterday. Steve raised $1 million. They just passed $70,000 in monthly recurring revenue to record sales calls and coach sales executives. Okay, Top Tribe, I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. And don't forget, before you listen to any other episodes, subscribe on iTunes right now for your chance to win $100 every Monday.